Steven Sully here from the Steven Sully Study. Hope everyone is well. Just want to share a bit of an observation of mine. 33 years of age. I'm definitely not where I want to be as far as becoming, a serial entrepreneur or a billionaire or, someone that's worth hundreds of millions. I'm very much on my journey. But during this journey, I have gone into multiple different sectors. I challenge myself quite a lot of the time. I do boxing, obviously podcasts, and I have a few different businesses. And something that I'm becoming more and more aware of is investing into good relationships. There was a saying once I heard, I don't know whether it was on a podcast or someone told it to me, but invest into radiators, not drains. And what that simply means is there are going to be certain people in your life that you need to cut out or avoid altogether, which are going to be drains. They're going to drain you of your energy, drain you of your focus, drain you of your confidence. And these are the people that really are going to be preventing you from growing as an individual. On the other side of that is the radiators, people that radiate your success, radiate your excitement, and radiate your belief in achieving or obtaining your goals. And you need to be a radiator yourself. Over the years, I've seen certain people that have made money, but they are drains. They sap people from their focus. They become poisonous. They become toxic. And at the time, they think it's a bit funny. They think they're getting one over on someone, but later on that comes back to haunt you. And what goes around comes around. I certainly believe whatever you put out into the universe, you're going to get back eventually. So I wanted to hit home a couple of key things that I've picked up over the years and things that I feel are very, very valuable. I think I've heard it from Grant Cardone, which is the most important thing isn't really assets. It isn't money, of course, which is all a byproduct of certain other things. It's investing into people. And you can never, ever underestimate what one individual or one network can do for you. You may not actually see the benefits of that person or that network immediately. And I'm not trying to say you should go out there and seek and only look for people that are going to kind of benefit you. You have to understand that certain key people, which may not be key people at this present point in time, will develop benefits for you later on. And that could happen in 6 months. That could happen in 12 months. That might even happen in 10 or 20 years' time. So the point of this is to be aware that anyone that you come in contact with, you need to be the best version of you. You need to be upbeat, showing value, and most importantly, realizing that if you plant that seed with that person today, later on in your life, it may manifest into something great. There's a couple of people that spring to my mind that every time they go into a social circle, or every time they get in contact with certain key individuals, they're looking to take all the time, or they become very malicious, or they're very abrupt. And people don't actually remember too much about the product or the service or the company you're working for. What they remember is how you made them feel. If you made them feel great, they're going to remember you for the good things. If you made them feel small, you spoke down at them, you made them feel a bit fearful, a little bit resentful, then trust me, that's going to hold with them for many years, and it's going to come back to haunt you at some point. So I've listed about 5 different things to keep in mind when you're actually in contact with people. And this is going to be very, very basic stuff. You could hear this from anybody, but the reason why I wanted to share it with you today is because I've realised this more than ever, and I've got certain people working alongside me, people that are helping me, people that are giving me advice, which I never, ever, ever considered them to be that person, or those individuals who are actually going to kind of serve me and my family, or even my businesses, until very, very recently. So number one, I think being aware that anyone that you come in contact with could eventually become a client of yours. Funny enough, me and my business partner have been talking about one key individual who lives in Holland, out of all places, and now we're about to do some business with them. We've been talking to this person and their organisation for the best part of 2 years, and now it's developing into something. And this transaction that we could be putting together very, very soon, probably this week, could equate to tens of thousands of pounds in profit. Now, had we just rubbished off the relationship at the early stages and said this person's a time waster, they're a stroker, which is a term that people use in sales, then we could have burnt that bridge and burnt that relationship. So number one, that person can turn into a client. As you well know, being a salesperson in business, working for a company, being a freelance agent, being self-employed, one client can turn your month around. It can turn your week around. It can turn your year around. I had a client come on board at my art company, and they invested best part of £350,000. Never bought into art. Saw a documentary of the Shadow Man. They got very, very excited by the Richard Hambleton movement, and they ended up investing $350,000. That's one client. And I never knew this client a month ago or 6 weeks ago, and now they've turned into a very, very good client. And the point I'm going to try and make here to you is that can be life changing, and it could change the course of your business if you come across someone like that. But again, if you're not radiating a feel good factor, if you're not radiating positive energy, if you're not making these people feel great and feel good about using you and your service, they're never going to turn into a client, and you're going to miss that opportunity. And opportunities, they're never lost. They're taken by other people that are a lot more prepared, a lot more switched on, and a lot more ready for that success. Second point is, even if this person doesn't turn into a client, they may refer you to somebody else who will turn into a client. And the funny thing is, this same client who's come on board came through somebody else that I felt was going to become a client, never was, but they ended up kind of pitching one of their friends, and that friend turned into a client, and it turned into a massive, a massive few deals for us. So again, even if that person doesn't participate in your, in your products, your service, your system, or with your company, remember one thing: don't underestimate that person. They could end up turning around to 2 or 3 other people, and they could become a very good client of yours. Number 3, that person right now may not give you the solutions that you need, but in the future they might. You're going to come across challenges in your life. You're going to come across massive hurdles, or you're going to come across, let's say, what typical people call problems, and you're going to need certain people to help you overcome those challenges. And trust me, more than ever, I really appreciate certain individuals who have allowed me to overcome certain huge problems that I perceived as huge problems in my mind, and these individuals have stepped in and they've helped me overcome these things. Again, if you don't have a good network, if you don't invest your time or don't become that positive, upbeat and that feel-good person, these people are never going to want to help you. They're never going to feel like they're going to want to bend over backwards and give you the solutions or the answers to some of your challenges, and you're going to burn that bridge, and you're not going to have the links to get to the to the final solution. Number 4, that person could be your next business partner. They could be your next investment partner. Again, look at the Rob Moore and Mark Homer story. If you don't know who they are, Rob Moore is a friend of mine. He's been on my podcast. I've been on his podcast with Kieran Richardson. He's actually a mentor to me for my podcast, and they owned a progressive property. And the way that company started was him meeting Mark Homer in a bar after a networking event. For property. That company now is turning over tens of millions of pounds every single year, and they've made some very, very good business decisions together. They forged a business alliance, and they've really gone on to very, very successful things. And it's not just in property, in other ventures as well. So be aware that anyone that you come in contact with, they could be your next business partner, your next JV partner, they could be your next investment partner, maybe in 6 months' time, 12 months' time. I mean, I'm speaking to a couple of key people at the moment, which I really like, and for whatever reason, the timing hasn't been right, but there are certain people that I'm constantly in contact with and I'm thinking, you know what, I would love to work with you on something because you're upbeat, you've got the right energy, you're focused, you're driven. And over the course of a year, not that I've been trying to analyse them or test them or catch them out, but quite naturally, I can see their routines and I can see their personality and I can see how switched on they are. And subconsciously, I keep on thinking to myself, that person really is, they've got integrity. They, when they say they're going to meet, they're going to meet. They're always upbeat. They're always thinking solutions. They're driven. They're focused on making money, but also giving value. They've got big goals, visions, and all that kind of stuff. And for me, that ticks all the boxes of someone that could be a JV partner, someone that's going to be an investment partner, a business partner. That's the kind of person you want. And more importantly, putting that all to the side, they make me feel good and they make me feel like I need to be a better person when I'm around them. So number 4 is about they could be your next business partner or investment partner. And the last one, they could be just become a really good friend or a life partner. The way I met my missus is when I went to a friend's girlfriend's birthday party, and that's how we end up meeting. And now we've got a property company together. We've got a few properties in there, and it's growing all the time. We obviously got a little boy together. We've got other things going on. We've had some really great life experiences. We've traveled around the world. We've done some really cool shit, and I just think that if you go into any party or any kind of social networking situation, you never know who could be your next life partner or even just a really good friend to you. And friends are not always there to you're not always going to make money together. You're not always going to be, it might not be a financial thing, but it might just be someone that could be a bit of a soundboard and someone that can help you, just experience some good scenarios together. So, concluding this, I think you need to be aware that anyone could become a great individual, and you need to radiate that feel-good factor and become the best version of you. Hope you got value from this. Please recommend me to friends and family. Subscribe, leave a comment, and remember, be happy, never content. Thank you.